Florida in 2021?
2020.
2020. Why? What brought you to
It's
Florida?
because of her, because of my wife. So we met on the internet. At that moment, I was in Chicago. She worked for a corporate, so it's easier for me to relocate it. So I moved in with her. That's how I moved to Florida.
Ah. And you, when did you guys meet online?
2020,
And didn't you just get married?
last year.
Last year.
Yes.
Yeah. Why did you decide to run for office so soon after coming to Florida?
We feel like a lot of local issues being ignored by politicians, and we want to focus on local issues. That's why we want to run.
Did you get any help from the state or the local party when you first started? Any sort of help with resources or training or anything?
No, I'm self-funded my campaign along with donations from small business owners and individuals.
And so who are your donors? There's a lot been made about you and your donors. Who are your donors? Where are your donors?
Yes. So I'm the biggest donor. I put in more than 80% of I fund more than 80% of my campaign, and the other 14% come from different states. Those are my family, friends, people I do business with.
And they're all, you say they're all Chinese Americans, naturalized citizens, or immigrants?
Yeah, they are American.
Okay.
Yes.
And I noticed that some of your businesses are also donors. You put some, like I noticed some of your shops have put $1,000 into your.
Yes.
Okay. How many of your businesses have put money in?
I can't remember how many of my business put in donations, but I own 9 grocery stores, a few bakeries.
Okay. Are all your grocery stores named Fresh International Market, or do you have stores with other names?
I had a store called Seafood City in St. Louis. So that store closed down. You probably saw the news. So besides that, all my store called Fresh International Market.
Have you experienced this sort of suspicion about your origins while you've been living in America before? Have you ever been through this before?
We have a very positive experience. We never thought about races or any discrimination along the way. But in business, we do feel something. I used to try to get a location in Pittsburgh, and the land owned by the city. They went through a hearing, and they come back to me saying, "Oh, you don't have our kind of people," so didn't give the contract to me. But other than that, we had a good experience.
And have you experienced this kind of suspicion here in Florida?
No,
Since you started your campaign?
not until now.
Not. How has the situation made you feel? How has it affected your family? How has it affected your donors?
Yes, you know what? After this mailer calling I'm Chinese and people who donate to my campaign are supported by CCP, which has made a great damage of me, my family, and my friends' supporters. People calling me after this mailer release. Some of those people own the business in state, and they were questioned by their customer who they are and what the relationship between them and the CCP and what the relationship between them and Bowen. So it's really put us in danger in a different way, in the business and the personal family too.
Have you ever been asked before publicly on media, because you've done media before, obviously you've done interviews before, have you ever been asked if you renounce the CCP?
Denounce the CCP. I do that all the time. It's on my social media, or on our campaign website. I'm publicly denounced CCP numerous of times, and I'm sharing my story. My family was facing persecution in China due to our Christian belief. And I came to America for the freedom. And now, people still, the most harmful moment in my life, not those persecutions I was faced. In the moment people call me not an American.
How do you feel about efforts efforts to restrict or ban Chinese nationals from buying land or doing business?
Those
in
are
Florida?
those are national security concerns. I understand the CCP. I live it in China. I know how dangerous they can be. So we have to really be careful on Chinese nations or Chinese entity coming to Florida buying those farmland and especially close to the military base.
Were you, you brought your grandmother a Christian Bible, which is what led to you fleeing China. Were you Christian before you came to the United States?
My grandma planted a seed in my heart. And at that time, I was like pretty young, and I didn't think about that much. But after I went back to America, that seed grew. So I'm proud to be a Christian.
So if you win, I mean, how does this affect your ability to work with the Senate GOP? Because the Senate president designate is one of the people who would put out this mailer.
We did nothing wrong. We send our messages, we run based on my platform. It's their decision to put out those mailers. They should think about how they're gonna work with me when I get elected.
Okay, and you own, in Florida, you own one business, correct?
Yes.
And that's the new Paris Baguette in Winter Garden. Are you planning on opening any more?
Yes, we have two businesses. One we already opened, the other one we are under construction, will be delivered in the end of this year, if not next year.
Is it going to be another Paris Baguette?
Yes.
Is it the one in H Mart?
Yes. Tell your friends, family.
Because you also have a foundation that was originally called Red Gator, but now it's called the Bowen Kou Family Foundation. Now, what is that?
So my wife and I, we dedicate community service. We want to raise the fund for charity. That's the intent for that foundation.
Any particular charities you're working with, or?
Not yet. We will think about that. So we just started this year.
Okay. So let's talk about your platform then. On your website, you talk about creating a tax structure that benefits the people. What exactly are you looking to do? This is in regards to inflation, but like Florida's got some of the lowest corporate taxes in the country. It has no income tax and sales tax is pretty low. So what are you looking to do?
Yes, like you mentioned, we don't have an income tax, but in corporate level, we have tax loopholes. So big corporation can choose in between filing combined or individual in the state of Florida to avoid paying tax in Florida. A lot of people talking about we don't have tax, personal tax, our budget going more and more. So they're talking about we may want to introduce new tax. But my platform allows us to close the corporate loophole, so we don't have to raise more new taxes. We just have the big corporation paying their fair share.
And how would you provide tax relief for you mentioned this with regards to the insurance crisis.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot's been going on there. They've already gotten some new companies in. I mean, what more do you want to do?
When I run, I made a commitment not to take any money from special interest or lobby. So that gave me the independence to balance the regulation between law firm, insurance company, and the consumers. If career politicians, they take money from those law firm or insurance company, they are not in the position to deliver fair regulation to balance the situation. That's a unique I can offer to the table.
We talked about the toll roads and doing away with tolls, but then what's paying for the toll roads, and where are we
Yes.
going to take care of that?
I went to their financials cover to cover. Turnpike collect over $1.1 billion last year. They only allocate less than a quarter to maintenance and repair. More than half of what people paid, $630 million went to profit. $0 go to state revenue, local infrastructure, or education. They just using the entire budget to building new tolls somewhere else in Florida. If we only collect tolls from commercial vehicles and out-of-state vehicles, we will have enough budget to do the maintenance and repair. Doesn't take sacrifice on the road quality and the operation.
You also talked about illegal immigration, which is obviously a big issue. Florida's already taken several steps. Do you think they've done enough? What more would you like them to do?
I think we should do more. The immigration issue should be a state emergency. I support Trump and DeSantis' plan to secure the border, and I will work with them to ensure the deportation of illegal immigrants.
Okay. That's all. Is there anything else you want to say?
Yes. Let me think about a second. So my opponent and his allies sadly put a lot of resources against me, and those are shameful race-based attacks. Those people send the mailers like this, list all my donors, their name, and where they are, put us in great dangers. Those mailers spread lies and hate, which should have no place in our party today. I work very hard for living in the American dream. I want to fight for our next generation to live in the same dream. And that's about our campaign.